Now you're all set to go.
All right, meeting call to order. Today is Tuesday, January 19th, Town Council meeting via Zoom with joint budget meeting with West Warwick School Committee.
Councilman Licciardi,
Here.
Councilman Messia,
Here.
Councilwoman Williamson,
Here.
Council Vice President D'Amico,
Here.
Council President Goslin,
Here.
Joseph DiMartino,
Here.
Rainey Kutu,
Here.
Louis Cologne, Susan St. Norman,
Here.
and Steve Lawton.
Here.
There is a quorum on record. Statutory pre-budget consultation between the West Warwick School Committee and West Warwick Town Council pursuant to Rhode Island General Law 16-2-21 and review of revenue and expenditure projections.
All right, it's actually been a very long time since the last time we met, and I know we've definitely met our challenges over the past year as far as I know the school with distance learning and everything else going on, and the council meeting via Zoom and school committee meetings via Zoom. So welcome everybody. And this is the first time we've had it in this forum as a whole entire group. So I don't know where we want to start. Do we want to start with superintendent, or do we want to start with our finance director? Which one would be best?
Up to you, Karen. Do you want to go first or you want?
Sure, we'll jump in. Thank
Okay.
you. Thank you, President Goslin. Well, good evening, everyone, and Happy New Year to those of you that I have not seen since the first of the year. And to David's point, it sure has been quite the year since we've met last to talk about last spring to talk about this current year's budget. So we're here tonight to do just that, have our joint meeting regarding expenditures and revenues. And Joe Spagna, as always, has done a great job working with all of our directors and myself, drafting our budget for FY22, always keeping in mind the needs of the school department, but as well as our commitment to the town in terms of fiscal responsibility and partnership and collaborating with, making sure that the town's financially stable as well. So with that, Joe, I'll hand it off to you.
Okay, thank you, Karen. Good evening, everyone. The draft budget as it stands right now does show an increase of 6% over the FY21 amended budget, which is about $3.9 million increase. So it totals about $64,130,420. You may recall that in FY21, the state cut us our state aid by $1.9 million, which required us to find that funding by preparing a deficit reduction plan. And that reduction plan included many staff layoffs, cuts to overtime and professional development, elimination of our building improvement line in the general fund, as well as a restructuring of the summer school and extended school year staffing requirements. As difficult as that was, we were able to present a balanced amended budget. We did find a way to make that work. I am happy to inform you that the state has reinstated those cuts for this fiscal year. And with those funds, we have been able to cover the reinstatement of the laid off staff, which was necessary due to enrollment and coverage needs under the hybrid distance learning plan we have in place right now. Taking into consideration the return of that funding, the FY22 budget estimates an additional $900,000 in state aid. I think that's conservative in nature. As usual, the budget uses the average local appropriation increases from our original 5-year plan, which is just under $650,000. But I'm also pleased to inform again that we were happily told that our portion of the debt service of the wind turbines has dropped over 50%, which I believe is mostly a result of the conservation work being done in our district over the years to reduce the school's electrical use. This resulted in a savings of approximately $150,000 for us. So in order to continue our efforts to support the town's ongoing fiscal needs, we moved those savings to the local appropriation line, reducing the increase that we're requesting to just under 500,000 or $496,936. We're pretty confident that with these increases, we'll be able to continue that quality educational services we provide to our students. And at the same time, we're trying to give back some of the savings we're seeing to the town. If anybody has any questions, I'd be happy to try to answer them to the best of my ability.
Joe, can you just state that last number for the, what you're
Yep.
looking for?
We're looking for an increase of $496,936. That's the $150,000 cut to what we usually budget as an increase.
And so the only other question I have is I see it that it went down on your side. So Kristen, where'd that 150,000 go?
It's
'Cause
going
I-
up on our side. So by them reducing their ask, it's almost like a wash on our side.
Okay,
So our hope is that because obviously when they reallocate the debt service based on usage, it's got to go to other departments. If we cut our use, other departments are picking up the slack. So this is a way for us to at least kind of help support the increase that you're seeing on the other side.
Yes, that worked out well.
does anybody have any questions for Joe?
Joe, I
Mary Beth?
assume this doesn't include any money you might get from the federal government. You know, what's coming around in the next stimulus. They talk about money for schools. Can you talk a
No,
little bit
'cause I
about
haven't-
that?
Whoops, sorry. Not at this time. We don't know what any kind of new stimulus funding will bring. The difficulty we have with that stimulus funding is it's so narrow in focus on what we can use it for. So, if they cut us again in state funding and then replace it with, some kind of stimulus funding, would we be able to put those staff back into place? I don't know. It depends on if they give us any money, what we can use that for. So to answer your question, I'm sorry, I ran on. No, it does not include any of that.
Do you see Dr. Biden being a positive as,
Well, we're hoping so. We're hoping that we see a quick show of support from the new federal administration. And we're hearing that any future stimulus may have less restrictions, but that's yet to be seen or defined. So to Joe's point, depending on what money we get, how restricted it is, how it'll help us out or not. But we're hopeful.
So that means we should be hopeful too that will actually
Yes.
All we have is
okay.
hope.
Okay, that's all right. That's our state motto. Yep.
be hopeful?
Right.
How about this year's budget? How is it looking with everything going on? And
With the reinstatement of the 1.9 million that we were cut, we should be in good shape. We were projecting a slight deficit because, like I said, we did have to bring staff in. Whether we could afford it or not was irrelevant. The kids and the enrollment, and Karen can speak with too, and our requirements required us to bring those staff back. But this return funding has gone a long way to help us make sure we don't end in a deficit position this year.
Yeah, like we talked about last spring, with the uncertainty of what this year was going to bring and the ultimate design of 3 different models of instruction, full distance learning, partial distance learning, and full in-person, it required more staff. So we were lucky in that the stimulus funds we got for this current year so far helped support those additional 7 or 8 teachers and plus a few related service providers. So at this point, again, we don't know what September will bring. It's really going to be dependent, I believe, on the vaccine rollout and how many people by September are vaccinated or not. And we're really, again, in full hope that we go back in full in person in September, which would be a huge relief to everybody. So we'll be prepared if not, again, with probably the similar models of instruction, but it comes with price tag. So at least now we know what that is because we've been through it this year, so we can better plan for September before September, because last year our planning was so far and deep into the summer. We have at least a a better idea of what we would need and how much it would cost. But we really, really hope that next year we're back to full in person right off the bat in September.
Yeah, summer vacation was not a summer vacation for some of you.
Not at all. No.
With that being said, how are the teachers and the students doing?
Hey, just like everybody else, I think everybody's hanging in there. It's not been an easy year. And nobody will pretend it has been or been the best year. Everybody's working really hard. I give everybody, from administrators through families, kids, parents, teachers, everybody's doing their best. We're making the best of a bad situation. In a lot of cases, there just aren't a lot of good answers, but we're making the best decisions and choices we can with what we have to work with. So I just really, again, want to give everybody involved a lot of credit. And we're already planning for next year and how do we, regain some of the gaps created this year just because of the circumstance. So all that starts happening now in any year, planning and everything, scheduling, student placement. So this year more than ever, we really have to dive in deep right now. But David, it just like everybody else, hanging in there, waiting to see the end.
Karen, I have a question. Jason Lichardi.
Sure.
I know back when we talked a year ago, you had talked about, I think you used the phrase busting at the seams.
Mm-hmm.
As far as the amount of kids in the buildings that we have.
Yep.
If everything returns to somewhat normalcy back in September, how are you guys as far as space?
Well, if our enrollment numbers right now have been consistent. So right now, unless we see a sudden influx of students, we'll be fine. We're full. And there's no doubt about that. Unless we see, again, a huge influx of students, we should be fine.
Okay. Thanks.
You're welcome. And I just want to thank everybody, the town council and the school committee and everybody in the town of West Warwick for your support. I mean, we feel it all around, whether it's helping kids and families with the academic piece of school or just supports in town, support services, related services. The town, once again, has just really put their arms around the school department, and we feel it and we know it, and we wouldn't be getting through the year without your support. So we thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else
That
have
said,
any questions?
Is there anything that we can do for the schools at this point in time? I know you're probably, I hate to even say this, and you can slap me later, but I'm sure you're planning or thinking about graduation and what might happen with graduation and things like that.
Yeah, so we've already, as a matter of fact, the Superintendent's Association had a meeting today, and we've already started that conversation to get ahead of it this year. We don't know what's going to be allowed. What we do know is that we have a plan that worked very well last year, and again, I give the folks at the high school and the families and kids a lot of credit for coming up at the last minute with a really viable option that worked well. So if we can't have an in-person graduation, then we do have Plan B already designed, and so I'm glad about that. But I really, we're all keeping our fingers crossed that maybe, again, if there's enough people vaccinated and the state allows it, that we could have some kind of an in-person graduation this year, and all the other things that come along with the spring planning, especially for the seniors. So we're already on it. The committees at the high school are already planning meetings, and the state's conversations already started. So we'll certainly keep you posted and let you know if there's anything we need help with. Thank you.
I'm
Hold on.
sorry.
Jay, I'm sorry. Karen, one last thing from my end. I know there's a small group that's been working with Mrs. Hassel from the high school. And I know a lot of parents are adopting kids and committing into doing things. I know I see it going on at my house, and I see my daughter getting, or they're already starting with gifts and gift baskets every week and little monthly. And I know I've been asked numerous times about signage and this and that. And I said, listen, I went through this last year. I don't want to step on anybody's toes. I said, but I know they're already working on signs, and I think Mrs. Hassel's very involved. I think she's more involved this year, and I think they are working, coinciding with each other. So, if people come my way, I recommend that they get approval through you first, because I know last year different groups started doing different things, and it started getting hectic. With that being said, I know they have looked, I know signage was one of them, and I think they're delivering signs out this week to high school students, seniors. And I know newly elected Senator Burke was involved with some donations, but I know they're looking for other donations to help pay for those signs. If anybody who wants to help out with that. I know they brought it to me, and I told them before I do any approvals, I'm not stepping on toes, and we work very close with each other this year.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you bringing that up, David. I think that, that's something we learned last year, that, if we coordinate and keep our lines of communication open, and, I always defer back to the folks at the high school because they're on the ground floor with the kids. And so I think that's the best route to go in terms of, people that want to help support the seniors. It's all wonderful. It's really, I give people a lot of credit that want to be involved and help support the kids, especially last year and this year. And hopefully this will be the last year we have to go through this. And the kids will have a typical senior spring. But I appreciate you bringing it up. And I think that's the best route to go. We'll keep the lines of communication and just coordinate, and then we'll end up in a good place.
Yeah, that word parade came up again, so I was like,
Yeah.
oh boy. Councilman Messier? Councilman Messier, you had something?
Oh yeah, it wasn't that important. I was just going to say there's probably more than 2 different options they could do for graduation. I'm sure there's you can correct me if I'm wrong. Are they exploring any other, like, maybe hybrid models or different things? Or you guys haven't even got to that point of even discussing that?
Yeah, we're just starting to coordinate, and it's going to boil down to, it's going to depend on what the state's going to allow.
Yeah.
So like I said, the folks at the high school worked really hard last year, and they came up with a really good option. And so we have that. And with any luck, the state's going to allow us, some variation of an in-person, and we'll just have to wait and see. Unfortunately, that's not in our hands. It'll be the Department of Health that guides that ship. So, we'll just keep our eye on that and see as time goes on what we're going to be allowed to do, and go from there.
Yeah, I guess 5 months is a long time in this world, right?
No, it goes quick. Spring goes quick always.
No, but I mean, just as much as things change so quickly, that's what I mean with who knows what will be in 5 months. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Agreed. You're welcome. Thank you.
Any other questions for the school committee, or Karen, or Joe? Kristen, any concerns? Kristen Benoit.
No, I have no concerns at all. Not with the school side. Town side, little, but we're we're working on that. I did send you a projected revenues estimates. The revenues projecting worst case scenario with a 4% levy increase of about 2.8 million. But you have to factor out the pass through to the school, so it's really like $2,336,275 that we have available for all of the different sources of increased expenditures that we're going to face in 2022. It's not looking terrible, but I do believe it's going to be tight.
Thank you.
We can hope, right? I think I heard that earlier. Yes.
Any other questions? All right, that will end this meeting if there's no questions. Does the school committee have any questions for us? Nice and easy.
So we're going to adjourn this meeting,
Actually,
is that right?
we can adjourn this meeting. And then we need a motion to move into executives. Actually, if we make a motion to move into executive session, and then we can adjourn this meeting, and then we can re-adjourn.
Well, all right, so are we switching to the other fee?
David, if I may, you might want to adjourn this meeting.
Right.
And then open your town council meeting in order to go into executive session. So why don't you adjourn this meeting first?
All right, I'm gonna make a motion to.
Hold on.
Sorry.
Mr. Hool, is it the same link for the town council? We stay on this meeting?
Yeah, so everybody stays here for all of the meetings with the exception of your private executive session.
All right, so make a motion to adjourn this one then.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you for attending tonight, school committee, and thank you.
Thanks,
Karen
guys.
and Joe.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Thank
And
you,
thanks
everyone.
again
Good
for
everybody. Be
letting us
safe.
go first.
Thank you. Be
All
safe.
right.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Good night.
Now you can go into your normal town council meeting and then go into executive session.
I don't think that's what people, well, maybe. Jason. Did we lose John?
Yeah, just
No.
open this meeting and make a motion to go to the executive session.
I'm gonna make a motion.
Hold on. I gotta stop the council meeting,
First meeting, right?
and then we need a motion to go into executive session. So let me know when you're ready, Joe.
You're all set, Dave.
Meeting called to order. Today is Tuesday, January 19th. It is now 6:28 PM. Town council meeting via Zoom. Paula?
Councilman Lattradi,
Here.
Councilman Messia,
Here.
Councilwoman Williamson.
Here.
Council Vice President D'Amico,
He's here. He had to step
Here.
out.
Yeah.
Council President Goslin.
Here.
There's a quorum on record. Under section 42-46-4 and 42-46(5)(a)(2) of Rhode Island General Laws, the town council to convene into executive session, closed meeting to discuss collective bargaining agreements with the International Brotherhood of Police Officers Local 312, Local 1104 International Association of Firefighters, AFL-CIO, and Rhode Island Council 94, Aspen AFL-CIO, West Warwick Town Employees Local 2045.
Second.
I need a motion and a second.
Who made the motion?
So I move that we move into executive session as described on the agenda.
Second.
I'll second it.
Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Ayes have it. See you guys on the other side.
Good evening. Could everybody hear me?
I can hear you, Jim. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening. Okay, we'll just wait.
Yep. Good evening, Al.
How do?
I'm
Hey,
all right.
guys.
Thank you.
Just remember, everything is being recorded and everybody can hear you. It's open to the public. It's being broadcast. So
Okay, well, I will
council's
mute
in their
myself.
executive session, so just hang out until they finish up.
You got it. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Joe.
Joe who? We're back.
Hello, yeah, we're all set.
We're all set.
Yep.
All righty. Meeting called to order. Today is Tuesday, January 19th. It's now 7:40 PM. Town Council